Alright everyone, before we get into the deck profile, I want to give a huge shout out to the provider of this map, Tracy Cakes over at Twitter. Now let's get into the deck. Alright, so this is my 60 card Blue Eyes Rocket Dragon Link deck. The first card that we have here is the Blue Eyes White Dragon at 2. It of course is the main card that we need to run in this deck and make it viable, so of course we're going to run it. Then the next one that we have is Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. It must first be special summoned from your hand by revealing Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand. You can only special summon Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon once per turn this way. This card's name becomes Blue Eyes White Dragon while it is on the field or in the graveyard. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it. This card cannot attack the turn this effect is activated. Then we have one Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon. If this card is special summoned, you can add one ritual spell or one polymerization from your deck to your hand. During your end phase, you can add one level 8 or higher dragon monster from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard. All level 8 or higher dragon monsters you control gain 1000 attack. You can only use each effect of Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon once per turn and can only activate them while Blue Eyes White Dragon is on your field or in your graveyard. And then we have two Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. Other cards you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Blue Eyes Jet Dragon once per turn and can only activate them while Blue Eyes White Dragon is on your field or in your graveyard. If a card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from the graveyard if it was there when the card was destroyed, or hand even if it's not. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles, you can target one card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. Then we have three the White Stone of Ancients. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can special summon one Blue Eyes monster from your deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. You can only use this effect of the White Stone of Ancients once per turn. Then we have one the White Stone of Legend. If this card is sent to the graveyard, add one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. Then we have three Sage with Eyes of Blue. When this card is normal summoned, you can add one level 1 light tuner from your deck to your hand, except Sage with Eyes of Blue. You can discard this card, then target one effect monster you control, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon one Blue Eyes monster from your deck. You can only use this effect of Sage with Eyes of Blue once per turn. Then we have three Dictator of D. While you control a Blue Eyes monster, you choose the attack targets for your opponent's attacks. You can only use each of the following effects of Dictator of D once per turn. You can send one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or deck to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. You can discard one Blue Eyes White Dragon or one card that mentions it, then target one Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Then we have one Absolouter Dragon. If you control a rocket monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Absolouter Dragon once per turn this way. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one rocket monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Absolouter once per turn. Then we have two Rocket Tracer. Quick effect, you can target one face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon one rocket monster from your deck except Rocket Tracer. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except dark monsters. You can only use this effect of Rocket Tracer once per turn. One Rocket Recharger. If a dark monster you control that was special summoned from the extra deck is destroyed by battle or a card effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target one of those destroyed monsters, special summon one dark monster from your graveyard with a different original name from that targeted monster. You can only use this effect of Rocket Recharger once per turn. While you control a dark monster special summoned from the extra deck, your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attacks. Then we have one Jet Synchron. If this card is sent to the graveyard as a synchro material, you can add one junk monster from your deck to your hand. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use one Jet Synchron effect per turn, and only once that turn. And then we have one Black Dragon Collapse Serpent and one White Dragon Waver Burster. The Black Dragon Collapse Serpent cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from your hand by banishing one light monster from your graveyard. You can only special summon Black Dragon Collapse Serpent once per turn this way. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one White Dragon Waver Burster from your deck to your hand. And then, White Dragon Waver Burster cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from your hand by banishing one dark monster from your graveyard. You can only special summon White Dragon Waver Burster once per turn this way. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one Black Dragon Collapse Serpent from your deck to your hand. Next we have Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon. So its pendulum effect, you can pay 1,000 life points and target one of your banished dragon monsters, destroy this card, and if you do, add that monster to your hand. You can only use this effect of Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon, once per turn. Then for, its monster effect, cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from your hand or extra deck by banishing one light and one dark monster from your graveyard. You can only special summon Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon, once per turn this way. Once per turn, you can pay half your life points, send as many cards you control as possible to the graveyard, except from the extra monster zone. And if you do, send cards your opponent controls to the graveyard up to the number of cards sent to the graveyard, and then inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each card sent to the graveyard by this card's effect. If this face-up special summon card leaves the field, return it to the bottom of the deck. Then we have 2 Nebula Dragon. You can reveal this card and one other level 8 dragon monster in your hand, special summon both in defense position, but negate their effects. Also, you cannot normal or special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except light or dark dragon monsters. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one level 4 light or dark dragon monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. You can only use each effect of Nebula Dragon once per turn. Then we have 1 Noctovision Dragon. When your opponent activates a card or effects that target a face-down card you control, you can banish this card from your graveyard, negate this effect, negate the effect. Also, your opponent cannot target that face-down card with card effects for the rest of the turn. You can only use each of the following effects of Noctovision Dragon once per turn. If a dark dragon monster is special summoned to your field, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, you can draw 1 card. Then we have 1 Galactic Spiral Dragon. While this card is in your hand or graveyard, if you control 2 or more light and or dark dragon monsters, you can special summon this card in defense position, but banish it when it leaves the field. During your main phase, you can make all monsters you currently control become level 8 until the end of this turn. You can only use each effect of Galactic Spiral Dragon once per turn. Then we have 1 Black Metal Dragon. You can target 1 Red Eyes monster you control except Red Eyes B-Chick. Equip this monster from your hand or your side of the field to the target. It gains 600 attack. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Red Eyes card from your deck to your hand except Red Eyes B-Chick. I almost want to say this might have been the pre-rata, but I don't know. You can special summon this card from your hand by banishing 1 face-up dragon-type monster you control. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 dragon-type monster from your hand or graveyard except Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Alright, now on to the hand trap side of the monsters. 2 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. When a card or effect is activated that includes any of these effects, you can discard this card and negate that effect. The effects include add a card from the deck to the hand, special summon from the deck, or send a card from the deck to the graveyard. You can only use the effect of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring once per turn. And then we have 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. When a monster on the field activates its effect, or when a spell or trap that is already face up on the field activates its effect, you can send this card from your hand to the hand or field to the graveyard. Destroy that card on the field. You can only use this effect of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit once per turn. And then for the absolute final monster of the deck, 1 Effect Valor. During your opponent's main phase, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, then target 1 effect monster your opponent controls. Negate the effects of that face-up monster your opponent controls until the end of the turn. Onto the spells. 3 Piri Reis Map. At the start of your main phase 1, add 1 monster with 0 attack from your deck to your hand, but have your life points. After adding it to your hand, until the end of the next turn after this card was activated, you cannot activate the added monster's effects or the effects of cards with its name until you normal summon that monster or a card with its name. 3 Small World. Reveal one monster in your hand, choose one monster from your deck that has exactly one of the same type, attribute, level, attack, or defense, and banish the revealed monster from your hand face down. Then add from the deck to your hand one monster that has exactly one of the same type, attribute, level, attack, or defense as the monster chosen from the deck, and banish the card chosen from the deck face down. You can only activate one small world per turn. Then we have 3 trade-in. Discard one level 8 monster and draw 2 cards. The simplest explanation we've had in quite a while. Then we have 3, the Melody of Awakening Dragon. Discard 1 card, add up to 2 dragon monsters with 3,000 or more attack and 2,500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. And then we have 3 Dragon Shrine. Send 1 dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then if that monster in your graveyard is a dragon normal monster, you can send 1 more dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only activate 1 dragon shrine per turn. Then we have 1 Called by the Grave. Target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard, banish it, and if you do, until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated, as well as the activated effects and effects on the field of monsters with the same original name. 1 Monster Reborn. Target 1 monster in either player's graveyard and special summon it. 2 Chaos Space. Send 1 light or dark monster from your hand to the graveyard. Add 1 light or dark monster that cannot be normal summoned or set from the deck to your hand with a level from 4 to 8 and with a different attribute than that monster. You can banish this card from your graveyard and target one of your banished light or dark monsters that cannot be normal summoned or set. Place that monster on the bottom of the deck, then draw 1 card. You can only use each effect of Chaos Space once per turn. And then the last spell, 1 Ultimate Fusion. During the main phase, fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon or materials listed on it from your hand, field, and or graveyard into the deck. Then you can destroy face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of Blue Eyes White Dragon and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon used from the field as material. You can only activate 1 Ultimate Fusion per turn. And then for the few traps we have, 2 Infinite Impermanence. Target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn. Then if this card was set before activation and is on the field at resolution, for the rest of this turn, all other spell trap effects in this column are negated. If you control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand. And then the last 3 cards of the deck, we have 3 True Light. Your opponent cannot target Blue Eyes White Dragon in your monster zone with card effects. If this face-up card is sent from the spell and trap zone to the graveyard, destroy all monsters you control. You can only use the following effect of True Light once per turn. You can activate 1 of these effects. Special summon 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or graveyard. Set 1 spell trap directly from your deck that specifically lists Blue Eyes White Dragon in its text with a different name from the cards you control and in your graveyard. Alright, so now on to our extra deck. We have 1 Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. Must first be either fusion summoned or special summoned from your extra deck by tributing 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon equipped with a fusion monster. Unaffected by trap cards or effects, this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Once per turn at the end of damage step, if this card battles, you can target 1 trap in your graveyard, set it in your spell and trap zone. Then we have 1 Borreload Savage Dragon. If this card is secret summoned, you can equip 1 link monster from your graveyard to this card, and if you do, place Borrel counters on this card equal to that monster's link rating. This card gains attack equal to half the attack of the monster equipped to it by its effect. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can remove 1 Borrel counter from this card, negate the activation. You can only use the effect of Borreload Savage Dragon once per turn. Then we have 1 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Once per turn, during either player's turn, when another monster's effect is activated, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy the monster. And if you do that, this card gains attack equal to the destroyed monster's original attack until the end of this turn. If this card battles a level 5 or higher monster your opponent controls during damage calculation, this card gains attack equal to the current attack of the opponent's monster it is battling during the damage calculation only. Then we have 1 Baronne de Fleur. Once per turn, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. Once while face up on the field, when a card or effect is activated, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. You can only use the previous effect of Bear on the floor once per turn. Once per turn during the standby phase, you can target one level 5 or higher monster in your graveyard, return this card to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon that monster. Then we have One Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. If this card is special summoned until the end of the next turn, neither player can target dragon monsters you currently control with card effects. Also, they cannot be destroyed by card effects. Once per turn during the standby phase, you can target one normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it. And for this final synchro monster, we have one Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time. Once per turn during either player's turn, when an effect of a card in the graveyard is activated, you can negate the activation. During either player's turn, you contribute this special summon card and special summon one light dragon synchro monster from your extra deck in defense position, except Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, but destroy it during the end phase of this turn. Then we have one number 38 Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy. Once per turn during either player's turn, when a spell card or effect is activated on the field, you can negate that effect, and if you do, attach that card to this card as XZ's material. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can detach one XZ material from this card, change the attack target to this card, and perform damage calculation. If a face-up XZ monster you control is destroyed by battle or a card effect, you can target one face-up XZ monster you control. It gains attack equal to one of those destroyed monsters' original attack. Next we have one number 62 Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. If this card battles during damage calculation, you can detach one material from this card once per battle. This card gains attack equal to the combined ranks of all XZ's monsters currently on the field times 200 during that damage calculation only. If this card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect while it has Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon as material, you can special summon this card during your second standby phase after activation and double its attack. Any battle damage this card inflicts to your opponent is halved unless it has Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon as material. Number 97 Dreglubian. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. You can detach one material from this card, take 2 dragon number monsters with different names from your extra deck and or graveyard except number 97 Dreglubian. Special summon one of them and attach the other to it as material. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon other monsters or declare an attack except with that special summon monster. You can only use this effect of number 97 Dreglubian once per turn. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card. This card gains attack equal to the combined ranks of all XZ's monsters currently on the field times 1000 until the end of your opponent's turn. When this card is destroyed by card effect, you can destroy as many monsters on the field as possible, minimum of 1. Then each player sets one spell trap from their graveyard to their field. When an opponent's monster declares an attack while this card is in your graveyard and you have no cards in your hand or field, you can special summon this card. Relinquished Anima. You can target one face-up monster this card points to, equip that face-up monster to this card, maximum of 1. You can only use this effect of Relinquished Anima once per turn. This card gains attack equal to that equipped monster. If this card is link summoned, you can special summon one level 3 or lower tuner from your hand or deck in defense position, but it cannot activate its effects this turn. During your opponent's main phase or battle phase, you can banish this card you control, special summon one tuner synchro monster from your extra deck. This is treated as a synchro summon. You can only use each effect of Crystron Halki Fibrex once per turn. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects while a link monster points to it. You can only use each of the following effects of BERDL Code Dragon once per turn. At the start of the damage step, if this card was link summoned using 3 monsters as material, battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy all monsters on the field. You can banish this card from your graveyard, banish one dark monster with 3000 or more attack from the field, and if you do, special summon one topologic monster from your extra deck or graveyard. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Once per turn, you can target one attack position monster, change it to defense position. Also, this card can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. Your opponents cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. Once per turn, when this card declares an attack on a face-up monster, you can activate this effect until the end of this turn. This card gains attack equal to half that monster's current attack, and if it does, that monster's current attack is halved. And then for the final card in the extra deck, Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also, neither player can target this card with monster effects. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. You can target one effect monster on the field and one rocket monster in your graveyard. Negate the effects of that monster on the field, and if you do, special summon that monster from your graveyard. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. You can only use this effect of BERDL and Dragon once per turn.
A few moments later.
Anyway, so I'm the bottom player, obviously. The AI's up top with my Blue Eyes Ritual deck. And these are just going to be a couple test hands that you can do with this deck. I just thought it'd be easier than trying to shuffle the other one at the moment and make sure it was correctly shuffled. So, as you can see, I'm going first. I'm activating Dictator of D, throwing out Blue Eyes because I thought I could do something with this, I think. Let's see. I mean, to be fair, I do summon out the Blue Eyes as well, and then obviously AI's turn. I'm not sure what they're doing. It's the AI, so. Now, the only reason their Dictator of D obviously attacked my Blue Eyes is because I had a Dictator of D as well as owning the Blue Eyes on my field. So because of that, while I control the Blue Eyes monster, I can choose the attack targets for my opponent. So instead of him being able just to wipe out my Dictator, I was able to have him attack into my Blue Eyes. This game goes fairly quick, and then because they use Solemn Judgment, I didn't have to pay my half a life points because I did not get the card, which was nice. So then I throw Chaos Space to get White Dragon. I just want to get BERDL out because it's been a while. And as you can see, I just go off from here, attack with Nimrod, and for game. So I know that's not my hand, so we'll swap fields. There we go. Much better, much better. As you can see, not an ideal, but I will be able to use trade-in. So let's just get to that. Yeah, you're not getting your dragons. No, 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 no. I sit on Small World for a while, actually, I believe. I wasn't sure what he had face down, so I just wanted to poke. I didn't want it to like end up wiping my field or anything, so. Does get his poly, but not really a whole lot you can do off that. Will you down, and then the next turn I really go off. I just summon basically everything I can, and then just wipe my own field to get a BERDL and Dragon, I believe. Because you know, I had yet to summon it, and I wanted to actually do it. Let's see, we go into Crystron, we get the Jet Synchro out, we go into Blue Eyes Spirit, pull Jet Synchron back out in order to get Baron, which you'll see here, there. And then we get the Nebula to summon both that and Jet. Now, with that, I was actually debating about going into one of my Xyz monsters, but it's like I hadn't pulled out BERDL and Dragon, and I had the option. And, you know, their life points is only at 1,500, so I figured screw it. Might as well have a little fun with this hand. But to be safe, I would have kept the Baron out, probably went into Hope Harbinger or Draglubian like normal. So that is those two test hands. I hope that helps show a little bit about what this deck can do. Obviously not everything was shown. If you guys do have any more questions, feel free to ask them and I'll answer them as soon as I see them. And as always, guys, have a fantastic weekend. And also, you'll be seeing a giveaway portion in the video coming up. That giveaway will be happening for 1 week moment that video drops. So 1 week, anyone who enters will have a chance to win. And thanks, guys.
3 hours later.
Alright, so next I'd like to mention the giveaway that we are currently doing. I'm giving away each of these field centers, one on my Twitter account and one here at YouTube. Be over 18 and be able to provide an address if you win to my email that you can find in the About Me section. So for the giveaway on Twitter, all you have to do is like the post, be following me, and comment on that post with hashtag KingRegulus. For the YouTube giveaway, all you have to do is like this video, be subscribed to me, and comment here with hashtag KingRegulus. That's all you have to do. Simple, simple, let's do it. And see you in the next video, guys. Peace.